Arts of East Asia. Lesson 1: Painting in China, Japan, and Korea. In East Asia, the objects or items that are usually put into paintings are called subjects, themes, or motifs. These may be about animals, people, landscapes, and anything about the environment. Painting subjects or themes in China: flowers and birds, landscapes, palaces and temples, human figures, animals, bamboos and stones. In Japan, scenes from everyday life and narrative scenes crowded with figures and details. While landscape paintings, minhwa, four gracious plants, bamboo, and portraits in Korea. Important aspects in East Asian painting. Landscape painting was recorded as the highest form of Chinese painting. They also considered the three concepts of their arts, namely the nature, heaven, and humankind. Silk was often used as the medium to paint upon, but it was quite expensive, and because of this, Kai Lun invented the paper in the 1st century AD, provided not only a cheap and widespread medium for writing, but painting became more economical. The history of Korean painting dates to 108 CE, when it first appears as an independent form. It is said that, until the Joseon dynasty, the primary influence of Korean paintings were Chinese paintings. Mountain and water are important features in Korean landscape painting because for them, it is a site for building temples and their own buildings. Painting is closely related to calligraphy among the Chinese people, so let us try to recall what is a calligraphy. Calligraphy is the art of beautiful handwriting. Traditional painting involves essentially the same techniques as calligraphy, and it is done with a brush dipped in black or colored ink, and oils are not used. The script found on these objects is commonly called shagumen or shell and bone script. Kangji, the legendary inventor of Chinese writing, got his ideas from observing animals' footprints and birds' claw marks on the sand as well as other natural phenomena. East Asian temples and houses have sweeping roofs because they believe that it will protect them from the elements of water, wind, and fire. Buddhists believe that it helped ward off evil spirits, which were deemed to be straight lines. The figures at the tips are called the roof guards. So there are three main types of roof guards in traditional Chinese architecture that influence other Asian architecture. One is the straight inclined, second is the multi-inclined, and the third is sweeping. Straight inclined is more economical for common Chinese people, while multi-inclined, these are roofs with two or more sections of incline. These roofs are used for residences of wealthy Chinese. And sweeping has curves that rise at the corners of the roof. These are usually reserved for temples and palaces, although it may also be found in homes of the wealthy. Woodblock printing is a technique for printing text, images, or patterns used widely throughout East Asia, and it became one of their oldest and most highly developed visual arts. Japanese ukiyo-e, the best known and most popular style of Japanese art is ukiyo-e, which is Japanese for pictures of the floating world, and it is related to the style of woodblock printmaking that shows scenes of harmony and carefree everyday living. Ukiyo-e art was produced in a diversity of different media including painting and became an art domain of the upper classes and royalty, but later was also produced by the common people. Paintings in East Asia do not only apply on paper, silk, and wood. Performers of kabuki in Japan and Peking opera in China use their faces as the canvas for painting, while mask painting is done in Korea. Peking opera face painting or Zhengzhou Lianpu is done with different colors in accordance with the performing character's personality and historical assessment. The hero type characters are normally painted in relatively simple colors, whereas enemies, bandits, rebels, and others have more complicated designs on their faces. It is a traditional special way of makeup in Chinese operas in pursuit of the expected effect of the performance. Originally, Lianpo is called the false mask. Guanju. Red indicates devotion, courage, bravery, uprightness, and loyalty. While Wangpang, yellow signifies fierceness, ambition, and cool-headedness. Zuan, a green face, tells the audience that the character is not only impulsive and violent, he also lacks self-restraint. While Zhangfei, a black symbolizes roughness and fierceness. The black face indicates either a rough and bold character or an impartial and selfless personality. Lianpu, purple stands for uprightness and cool-headedness, while a reddish-purple face indicates a just and noble character. Then lastly, the Cao, white suggests treachery, suspiciousness, and craftiness. It is common to see the white face of the powerful villain on the stage. Kabuki makeup of Japan, or Kesho, is already in itself an interpretation of the actor's own role through the medium of the facial features. On stage, this interpretation becomes a temporalization of makeup in collaboration with the audience. Kabuki makeup is also another way of face painting, which has two types. The first one is the standard makeup applied to most actors, and the second one is the Komadori makeup applied to villains and heroes. It is composed of very dramatic lines and shapes using colors that represent certain qualities. Dark red, passion or anger; dark blue, depression or sadness; pink, youth; light green, calm; black, fear; purple, nobility. Some examples of face painting are the Mukimi Goma or Soji Goma, where the lines are painted onto an actor's face, and these are then smudged to soften them. So these are examples of Komadori, the painted faces of Japanese kabuki theater. Korean mask, called tal or tal, originated with religious meaning just like the mask of other countries, which also have religious or artistic origins. Korea has a rich history of masks. Rules of colors in Korean mask. First, the black, red, and white, bright and vibrant colors that help establish the age and race of the figure. Second is half red and half white mask, symbolize the idea that the wearer has two fathers, Mr. Red and Mr. White. And the last one is the dark-faced mask, indicates that the character was born of an adulterous mother. For paper arts and knot tying, paper was first invented by Kai Lun of the Eastern Han Dynasty in China. It is indeed one of the greatest contributions of ancient China in the development of arts. Then folk arts of China, we have paper cut, Chinese knots, paper folding, and paper kites. The earliest document showing paper folding is a picture of a small paper boat in an edition of Tractatus de Sfera Mundi from 1490 by Johannes de Sacrobusco. In China, traditional funerals include burning yuanbao, which is a folded paper that look like gold nuggets or ingots called sai chi. This is also used for other ceremonial practices. This kind of burning is commonly done at their ancestors' graves during the Ghost Festival. A saichi or saisi is a type of silver or gold ingot currency used in China until the 20th century. The name is derived from the Cantonese words meaning fine silk. Origami. The term origami came from ore, meaning folding, and kami, meaning paper. It is the traditional Japanese art of paper folding, which started in the 17th century AD. Chinese Buddhists believe that hanging window flowers or decorative paper cuttings like pagodas and other symbols of good luck attract good luck and drive away evil spirits. The process of paper cutting is aided by a pair of scissors or knife and other sharp flat cutter. Zhanzi is the first type of paper cutting design. Since paper was invented by the Chinese, then the cutouts are also used to decorate doors and windows. They are sometimes referred to as chonghua, meaning window flower. Kite making. A kite is an assembled or joined aircraft that was traditionally made of silk or paper with a bowline and a resilient bamboo. Today, kites can be made out of plastic, and these are flown for recreational purposes, display of one's artistic skills. Chinese kites may be differentiated into four main categories: the centipede, hard-winged kites, soft-winged kites, and flat kites. In Korea, decorative knotwork is known as made-up, or called dore, or double connection knot, often called Korean knotwork or Korean knots. And in Japan, knot tying is called hanamusubi. It emphasizes on braids and focuses on individual knots.